The views expressed and the opinions given by the individual host and their guests do not necessarily reflect those of Para X, its affiliates, or its sponsors.
Supernatural. Magic. Ghosts. You have owned. Bigfoot. Extraterrestrial. Psychic energy.
The Calling 2.0.
Hello, everybody. This is Jerry with The Calling. Valentina will not be on the show tonight. She's still got 1.5 million things going on. Plus 2, she's still working on getting her car fixed. So it's been a long road for that poor girl. She also wanted me to let you guys know that she does have gift certificates available. So just go to her website, Valentina. I think it's, I'll look it up and I'll put it in the chat for you. All right. So tonight, I've been wanting them both on together for a long time, and I finally got them. So we have Reeni, the doll healer, and her daughter, Torgun, who is a child psychic of sorts. And one of the things we're going to talk about tonight, we're going to be talking about cemeteries if they're haunted, and then urban legends around in our area. I wanted to get, it's going to be nice to get Reeni's point of view on this, and Torgun too, because then you have, Torgun is younger, a lot younger than her mom, of course, but we're, it's going to be really kind of nice to get that, a younger person, what they think of some of these urban legends that people have out. So Reeni, how you doing?
Good. How are you guys doing?
Not too bad. And Torgun, how are you?
I'm good.
You're good? All right. Full of Lucky Charms and ready to go.
Yeah, yep. Very
All
full of Lucky Charms.
Very good. She was a little hungry, so she had to eat Lucky Charms beforehand. All right. So now there's a lot of areas. Actually, you two went out, right, to a cemetery? You went out to a cemetery. You were armed with a voice recorder. You were ready to find whatever you had to talk about. But what did you guys find out there?
Nothing. We found nothing.
Nothing whatsoever.
No, nothing.
You did EVP sessions?
Yep, nothing.
Wow. Kind of go through what it was like when you were out there. I mean, it was dark, obviously.
We actually, okay, first off, I wanted to say that, like, when we went out there, we actually had to get permission. We didn't actually, I didn't just randomly go out there in the evening. We didn't do that. Well, we did go out there in the evening when it was dark, but we got permission because there is some houses that are around there. Right. So there was one at, I want to say in Reading. And I'm not going to give I don't want to tell anybody where the cemetery is, just in case anybody in the area is listening, because nobody really needs to go out there in the first place. I'm not saying it's dangerous, but when we were out there, there was this whole tale about this older woman who went ahead and she was guarding her son's grave with this axe. And there's train tracks that go like right by there. So what happens is your car will either stall when the train is coming. And let's be honest, that didn't happen at all.
Nope.
There was no EVPs. We didn't see anything. We did see the train, but our car didn't stall. And right at the train, we just went on our merry way. So even when we were looking back, there's still nothing. We didn't see any lights. We didn't see any of that. To be honest with you.
And that's the whole story of it, that there was
Basically-
supposed to be some.
Yeah, and like basically, I just like I was reading online that a lot of people were like, my car is on the train tracks, and then the train was coming, and I almost got killed by the train. No, you didn't. I'll tell you that right now. Okay, like maybe your car did stall on the train tracks, but I don't think it had anything to do with the cemetery. Maybe your car just died. Okay, like get out,
Right.
push quickly. But also we went to Cumberland Cemetery. Now this was like the second or third time I've been out there. The first time she's been out there. The first time I went out there was during the day. And I heard some other stuff the first time I went out there, but I didn't see anything. Especially when we were out there. We didn't see anything in the evening either. We do know when, as far as when we did some research, you know how kids are, and don't ever do this, like Torgun, ever.
Okay.
Don't go out to cemeteries, and don't, I feel like they're drinking out there and they're taking their little Ouija boards, and I'm like, let's summon something. For what? I mean, that's
Right.
my take on it. Okay.
Now, you found a lot of vandalism when you were out there, right?
We did. Okay. And this is what I cannot figure out. Why go out there and vandalize stones? I mean, find something else to do. I know that there's not a lot of stuff to do in our towns,
Yeah.
you know, in smaller towns, but you don't need to go out there and just because you want to put on a seance or you want to do witchcraft. And I don't want to really get into that whole witchcraft thing, because witchcraft is a whole broad spectrum.
It's a
you know?
bunch of stuff.
Right. It's not just witchcraft's not exactly always evil. You know, we've had this conversation. If you want to jump in,
Right.
you know, you're fine.
Yeah.
Okay. Long-winded. She knows this already. But I feel like they don't have anything better to do with their valuable time besides maybe they watched a movie or maybe a TV show. I gotta fly. I gotta fly.
Right.
And they're like, oh, this is cool. But in all actuality, it's not cool. I mean, we also need to respect the dead when we're out there.
Exactly,
We
like,
got to remember why we're there.
Vandalizing stones is just disrespectful. Like, why would you do that?
Some people just have no class.
Yeah. So, Torgun, what do you think about the shows that are out there today and stuff like that? Do they hit on the key points of none of the trespassing, to be respectful and stuff like that, or are they just kind of fantasy that that's maybe why, not just kids your age, but 19, 20-year-olds, or even people as old as your mom, which is really old, can do that same thing?
No.
You don't think so?
I mean, maybe. I mean, kind of depends on the age.
It kind of depends.
Right. But like, have you heard of any of your friends or anything? Not friends, maybe somebody that were classmates.
You're like,
Something.
not friends.
No.
No.
Not my
Okay.
Definitely not my friends.
That's good. Now, I got to ask you guys this question, okay? This is very bizarre, but is it just you two at home right now?
No, we have a little person at home.
Okay. But did he say something within the last, 2 minutes?
No, we have the window open because it's hot and I'm cheap and I don't want to turn my air on.
Okay, I get you. The reason is I just heard somebody say something, and it was a guy's voice.
Okay, well, you got to remember, I am sitting in a room with 4 haunted dolls.
I forgot about the haunted dolls. That's right. It's very haunted. Well, once we go through this whole thing, I'll find it and I'll send you a snippet of. I'm sure that everybody heard it. I'm sure they heard it in the chat room and everything.
But we are gonna go ahead and we're eventually gonna talk about what happened to me today while I was sitting on the phone with you.
Oh yeah, we'll talk about that in a second. Just
Right.
hold on there, little girl.
I know. I was so excited about that today.
So, okay, so with the haunted dolls and stuff like that, Torgun, what do you think of it? Does something, I mean, do you feel things that are off the dolls when you're just walking past them?
Yeah, sometimes. Sometimes they like to randomly talk to me, and sometimes they'll even like follow me at school. But like they are.
What do you mean follow you at school?
Like, I don't know, cause like I'll be at school, right, and so all of a sudden I just hear one of their voices. I'm like, who is that? And then they'll tell me their name. I'm like, why did you come here? I'm like, I'm busy. I got work to do, man. But like they're really nice to me. But
Okay.
they haven't really talked to me in a while, so it's kind
So
of
there's nothing there that is evil or anything like that.
I mean, no. I mean, sometimes they can have like negative energy sometimes, but they have a lot of good energy. So
Okay.
Yeah.
Ceiling Cat in the chat room is saying Robert the doll says to say hi.
We have, oh my gosh, we so want to take a trip
oh,
to
so
go bad
So
to
bad.
go visit the Robert doll.
You guys practiced that, didn't you?
No, we didn't.
We
Okay.
did.
No,
We
I was
always
joking.
talked at
I
the
was
same
joking.
time.
Yeah, I am not a big fan. You know that, of dolls. Dolls just freak me out, something fierce, and that and pickles. But anyway, yeah. So well, good for you. I'm glad that you help your mom and everything when it comes to investigating them. Or yeah, you do a little bit, kind of.
Yeah, when I can, but sometimes my mom's just like, let me do this by myself. She
Gotcha.
doesn't want me around. She gets sick of me. So I'm just like, dang, okay. I'll
No,
leave you
it's
alone.
not that. Here's the thing. Again, we've had this conversation a bunch, especially on your show. Each doll,
Different.
is different and communicates differently. And I just won't let my kids use a Ouija board. I just won't.
But you also get sick of me.
You just hand her a box of Lucky Charms and
I don't know where to go.
Exactly.
Here's
there
like,
you go. Okay, so all right. Well, the doll thing, I know you've been doing it for a long time, and I fully respect you on of what you do and everything. And I don't think I could ever do that.
Yeah.
Scary
well,
stuff.
she wants to get into haunted dolls.
I want to get into like just haunted objects in general.
Oh, sort of like a John Zaffis.
Well, here's the thing. She is like obsessed with this haunted picture I have that comes out on Halloween.
Yes.
Heidi.
I love her. She is the sweetest.
Which one's that again?
It's a picture that I have, and Torgun is like obsessed with this picture. She asked when we were decorating, she's like, are we putting Heidi out this year? I'm like, we put Heidi out every year.
I mean, because it's her favorite holiday, and we put her out with all the decorations. So.
Gotcha. So right now what I'm doing is I'm putting in pictures that you had sent me of some things here. Once I get them all set, then we will discuss them. 1 second, almost done. Okay, so I am not well, obviously I've said it so many times before, a doll person. Also not a Ouija board person. Now you had put, or now I put 3 pictures that you sent me. The first one is a nun doll. Now,
yes.
When people first look at that, the first thing they're going to think is it's a haunted doll, but this is not, right?
The nun doll is not a haunted doll. Okay, it's not haunted. I like it for the creepy effect. And anybody that tells me that doll is haunted, that is a bold-faced lie.
Some of them aren't haunted. They're just to look cool with all the haunted dolls,
Right. Now, when people have sent them to you, whoever sent you this nun doll, did they say it was haunted at one point?
I bought that haunted doll, or not. I can't say haunted. That was a bad word. I bought that doll, I think, for like a couple bucks.
At the Goodwill. We buy a lot of
at
dolls at the Goodwill, and
all right.
Oh yeah, no problem.
So
okay.
Again, I look for what is going to bring my doll case together. Like, and I know which ones are haunted and which ones are not, and which ones can be together and which ones can't. But that doll is just there for the effect. That's it. It's not
Okay.
anything glamorous.
Gotcha. Now the Ouija board, the second Ouija board that I put on, that one, well, the second one and the third picture, the Ouija board, the darker one, and the lighter one. Now, if I'm correct, the lighter one is not haunted, but the darker one is haunted, right?
The darker one is haunted, yes.
And where did you receive that one from?
The haunted one?
Yeah.
I actually got that when I was on an investigation with 2 friends of mine. And what happened was whoever had this board did not close the board properly. And when they were, I'm going to say playing, because that's what they were doing with this board. And they were cussing at it, and they were doing this, and they were doing that. And the experiences that we had with that board to try to close it ourselves, we couldn't do it. He couldn't do it. Nobody seemed to do it. So it landed with me.
Okay. And then now with the, have you closed it and everything?
I can't close it. For some apparent reason, it just will not close.
Wow.
Which we tried it. It took 3 of us. The experience that we had with that board was crazy. And she'll tell you too, boards are off limits in my house.
Oh yeah, if you touch it, it's not going to go well for you.
Yeah, we don't play with it. We don't ask to play with it. We don't do any of that. The kids, she like I said, she'll tell you she's not allowed to even touch them.
I have to ask if I can use certain things.
Gotcha. Oh no, that's good. You know, that's respectful of what your mom does. I mean, something that gets away, it's not too good. Now, speaking of today, Reeni, when I called you up and we were talking on the phone and you started talking about your Ouija board, what happened?
Okay, so I'm sitting on the phone with Jerry, minding my own business for the first time in a long time.
Dang.
But I remember I was like, oh, let's, and I was like, oh, I'll take some pictures. And, I took it out, took pictures. And as soon as I put that haunted board back, every ounce of glass on my top shelf in my doll case came shattering down, which is why I have 2 Band-Aids on right now.
Oh, gotcha. And
you were on the phone and you
yeah.
said, all I could hear was like silence, which is huge shattering.
And then I said to you, okay, I heard a lot of glass breaking. What's going on? And then that's when you told me. You're like, yeah. I didn't touch anything.
I didn't. All I was going to do was set the board back. And I know how I like certain things. And Torgun will tell you too. Everything, especially with my haunted stuff.
They have their place.
Yeah.
And that board has its place kind of tucked back. You can't really see it in the case. And all I did was set it down very gently, and the glass just
shattered.
I mean, shattered. Not even just like in half. I mean, shattered.
Wow.
And I wish I would have gotten it on video because it just didn't make any sense. Everything but none of the dolls were hurt in the making, or not in the making, but in any of that, because that was my first thing. And you knew that. I was like, oh my gosh, my dolls are okay. They're okay. Nothing hurt.
Yeah.
They're okay.
Well, you were worried about the dog too walking through it. Yeah.
I'm always worried about the dog walking through something.
Yeah. So now that you got one haunted board and one not haunted board, can they affect with each other?
Here's the thing. I just sent you a picture of like a non-haunted board as well, right?
Right.
And it's not the only non-haunted board that I have in my house. And I've not had any effect of, I know how to open it. I know how to close it. I know the proper things to do it. So I don't think that it does by any means. Would you think that it does?
No.
And you keep the planchettes separate.
Those are separate. They this way, because again, we have a 6-year-old running around the house like crazy, like a crazy person, and you know she he does, and then she'll have friends over, and I never want them to think that after I go to bed that it's okay for them to, you know, she's a teenager, things happen.
My friends will be like, "Ooh, we should play the Ouija board." I'm like, no, we
No,
are
you-
not doing that.
I know you would never do that.
I am the mom friend. I would not allow that.
Yep, exactly. Let's see now. So Todd in the chat room says creepy looking dolls are a big thing for folks who celebrate Halloween,
Yeah.
especially the Halloween haunted house folks. Okay, you to know Reeni and Torgun is that they are Halloween lovers 100%.
110%.
Mhm.
Yep. And Reeni is a huge on true crime, where her daughter is gigantic when it comes to scary movies. Freddy Krueger, all that. Well, even her mom wants to actually marry Michael Myers.
Oh my God.
I would if
Oh
I
my
could, but it's
God,
like not,
no.
you know, not true.
I don't want him as my daddy.
Now,
funny.
now I understand too, Torgun, your birthday is during the month of Christmas, but yet you're going to have a horror themed birthday. Is that right?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. That is way cool. Okay, now Todd's saying, out of curiosity, does she treat ITC devices like, say, an SB7 spirit box the same as a Ouija board?
No.
No, most definitely not. I know
Right.
that.
And here's the thing, I just want everybody to know, like, boards are not for everybody. If you do not know what you're doing,
Don't do it.
exactly, don't do it. Or find somebody that really knows what they're doing so they can help you. But this isn't something to like summons a demon or anything like that. Like, I don't know why anybody would want to do that, but there's people out there. There's plenty of people out there that do that.
Well, there's a lot of TV shows out there, so when kids see it, that's what happens. You know,
I mean,
that's like
she's taking classes to become a demonologist. I mean,
It's my biggest dream.
Vegas dream.
Biggest dream, not a
Oh,
Vegas.
biggest
She's not going to Vegas.
Oh,
She's
my
going to Vegas
God.
when we're in motel.
Got it. Okay, so now you were saying something about your pendulum broke too. At that time.
My pendulum broke.
Oh no.
My very first pendulum broke, and I know, and I think I asked you today. I said I don't know the theories on if they break. Are you supposed to? Did it serve its purpose, or can I keep it and just glue it back together? Because I don't. I'm really weird
Right.
about it, and she'll tell you that too.
Mm-hmm. It's like one of your favorite methods to contact your
Gotcha. So what do you think, people? Can somebody kind of give us a little thing? Is that something she's supposed to get rid of and redo it? Did it land on the board?
No, it landed. It's like it did like a very clean cut, and I was really, like I said, you knew how upset I was. I was like, this was my very first pendulum. I want to keep it. I know. I tried Googling it. I'm not a huge stone person. I mean, I know you know. Are you
Oh.
supposed to? What are you supposed to do?
I would assume you would keep it, or maybe just fix it. I'm just thinking about like the
That's-
evil stuff. Because
Right.
usually, like once they break or like you lose it or something, like it just served its purpose. And then
You're really no help to me now.
You're no help to me.
Okay, yeah, I'd keep it. Yeah, you can't redo it. I'll keep it. I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna figure it out. If I put it on a necklace, if I
That'd
do
be
something.
cute.
I know.
Yeah, Stephanie said the same thing.
Yeah, I seen that's
I
what
would
I'm in
keep
the
it.
chat as well. Yeah, I love it. It was my first one. It was the one that I learned how to use a pendulum with.
You have a weird connection with that.
I do have a weird connection with that. But I'm very, very partial to that. And I know like some people will say, oh, you're supposed to bury it. It did serve its purpose. or whatever.
See,
But
I guess
just
I
feel
never
like it's
heard.
dear to me.
I've never heard the burying part. To bury it, I never heard that. I heard about that with extremely demonic dolls, such as
Oh,
Bella's doll. No, 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 no. Hold on.
but I'm
If
just
you
saying,
remember
like,
one of our talking,
right. Who's that?
um,
Yeah.
Bella, one of our investigators, she had a what do you call that? Where somebody makes a doll of you.
A voodoo doll.
Voodoo doll, yes, of her, one leg a little bit shorter, blue eyes, because she always wears blue contacts, and she's black and Native American. And this person, I'm not going to say who it is, wanted her baby to die in her because they were extremely prejudiced and didn't want another one, as they said, to be alive. So we went over. We were told by a witch exactly what to do. It was extremely elaborate, and all she wanted was this thing gone. So we encased it in salt, and we sent it to two people in North Carolina, a mother-daughter team, just like you two, and they were both deputy sheriffs, and they do that with dolls. They pretty much destroy dolls. They don't try to work with them. Because it's all demonic that comes to them. So anyway, we sent it to them. They got the doll. They cleaned it off. They put it in the doll room. They put it next to a bunch of other dolls. That night they were sleeping, and it sounded like somebody was trying to kick their way into their house. So they both had their Glocks out. They ran to the doll room where the ruckus was coming from. They kicked open the door. That doll is sitting by itself, and all the other dolls were on the other side of the room.
I'm still looking for a real demonic doll.
This one was, but what they did with this is they actually brought it to a Catholic church, and they took and they dug a hole. They did some kind of thing with it and everything with salt, holy water. They burned it, and they took all the ashes and buried it. They did tell the father the next day what they had done. And he went out there and blessed that hole and said, from now on, let me know ahead of time.
Well,
Because he was going to help with that.
I do know a couple people who, somebody told, and I'm not dropping any names because I'm not going to do that.
Right.
Somebody told somebody that with this haunted doll, they should just throw it in the lake. And I'm like, well, that's really not going to solve anything.
It's really not. It's still going to be there.
It's still good. Well, the thing is with be it if it's, any kind of ghost or spirit or anything like that, water is a conduit. So they will find their way somewhere in someone's home. And that is just incredible that they'd even tell you to do that.
I wouldn't. It wasn't me that was told to do it. It was somebody else I knew that had a haunted doll, and this was way before they knew me. And they were like, "Oh, this person," and it was a psychic medium who told them to just toss it in there. And I'm like, "Oh, hi, okay." But and I want everybody to know, not every creepy doll that you get is haunted. Like at all. Just because
creepy effect.
It just has a creepy effect. Like
exactly. Very well put, Torgun. Very well put. Very well put. Okay, so let's see now. We got another minute here, and then we're going to go on break. So when we come back, there's other urban legends around your area, right?
One more that I could think of, but that's pretty much it. And I know that you have some as well.
Yeah, I've been looking up like mad. We've even went on a few too that were so ridiculous. That well, we'll talk about it when after break and everything. Let's see what's kind of stretch this until 7:30. I jumped ahead a little bit too far.
That happens.
So there. So now, is there anybody else in your family that shows any kind of, be it psychicness or any kind of intuition or anything like that?
There's been some stories, but that's all we know. From
Okay.
a very close relative.
Okay. All right. Well, listen, we're going to go on break. We're going to be right back in about 2 minutes. Hang on, everybody. The calling, along with Reeni and with her daughter Torgun. And hey, everybody, if you just tuned in and you're wondering, what's going on the Calling 2.0? Well, you know what? Tomorrow you can actually go to the Calling radio show on YouTube, and the video will be there because we are doing in video at the same time, and you'll be able to meet the two guests that I have here. And also too, if you're looking for some great entertainment, www.paraxradionetwork.com. They've got all sorts of great shows, just fantastic. Like right after us, it's Exploring the Paranormal with Shauna of Geeks Paranormal. Then also you have, like on Tuesday night is The Gathering with Stephanie and Heidi. They have a good time with that. There's just tons of things to do, and even more shows than that, but I always forget to write them down, but I do listen to Parax. You guys would really enjoy it. All right, so we're back. Now, okay, again, was there some noise on your guys' side?
A train, like I said,
train. Okay.
The window was open because we're sitting so close together, and
right, and you're cheap.
So like I wanted to keep the window open because it kind of gets kind of hot up
and
there.
That's fine because I thought I heard something. So
no,
okay, I just want to make sure it
we're
wasn't.
We're in a room with haunted dolls. So
yeah, that's true. That's true. Well, we'll know more tomorrow. Okay, so here we go. Now Todd's saying, listening to David Sloan's talk at the Michigan Paracon about Robert the Doll, and he believes there are 3 spirits attached to it. One of the spirit of a little girl, and the other 2 are dark entities tied to it as part of a curse. Thoughts?
I've never actually heard the talk, so I can't really.
I mean, I've heard about the doll, and I heard there was a spirit in it, but like I'm honestly not really sure.
But
there could be a bunch of things in it.
Well, I did know that, like, the only thing I really know, like, we were very curious ourselves just to go, right? But we also know that, like, you're supposed to ask Robert to get your picture taken with him.
Or something bad will happen.
Or something bad will happen. Yeah, and so we are definitely, like, we definitely want a picture with him. Like, don't get us wrong. We're going to ask.
We are.
All right, we don't want that to happen to us, but we're going to ask. I mean, if we ever get to Florida, okay?
That's probably not going to
That's
happen.
probably, well, maybe. I mean.
Well, I could see you both going to Florida, getting the picture done, and then Torgun would look at the picture and look back and go, "You couldn't have smiled."
Yeah.
You know, I could see that happening too. And then I could see you, Reeni, kind of looking up in the air like, "Never again, never again." Okay, so talking a little bit about the things here that, wow, what happened here? All of a sudden, my internet, oh, here we go. Internet is kind of odd. So I got some myths here, just a few of them I'm going to read and stuff. And a couple of them, like I said, we've actually had gone to and checked out. One I wanted to, and one, as a matter of fact, was up by your old place that you lived, the Kensington Runestone. Here's a legend that is especially unique to Minnesota. The Kensington Rune Stone was originally discovered in 1898 by Olaf Ullman, inscribed with mysterious runic markings. It was first alleged to be left behind by Scandinavian explorers in the 1300s, but after extensive study, the stone is barely accepted as a 19th century hoax. Still, some continue to believe that the stone's authenticity you can try to puzzle out the mystery yourself at the Runestone Museum in Alexandria. Now, the thing that I found out about that, which I thought was really interesting, was a farmer had found this and it was embedded in a tree. Do you remember that story?
I can honestly say that I do not remember that story
I
at
don't
all.
either.
I don't remember that story.
It was the original history of this, and that the family of who actually found it on their property has been fighting to get that back into their possession, as Alexandria, the museum, just kind of took it and said, hey, you know, it's part of history, we got to take it. But yet, if they were to really take them to court on it, they would. But that's a bummer if it is a fake. I don't know.
Right, I mean, I don't know. I've never heard the story.
Me either.
Right. Well, and then there is this story is hilarious. I know a couple of our members check this one out. Hairy Man of Vargas Trails. And just south of Detroit Lakes, still again in your area. You heard this one, haven't you?
Heard it.
Okay. The small town of Vargas has gotten
Burgess.
a lot of, what is it?
Burgess.
Vargas.
Yes, Burgess.
Vargas.
Burgess.
Vargas, yes.
It doesn't matter.
That's what I said. Okay. Has gotten a lot of attention for one particular urban legend. So much, in fact, that it was featured on science fiction haunted highways. The Hairy Man of Vargas Trails has been fascinating or horrifying, depend on who you are. People in the area for decades said that he's 8 feet tall and often blamed for strange animal deaths. He wanders the woods surrounding the Vargas Trails, and many claims run-ins with the creature over the years. So now, have you heard? So what have you heard about that?
Okay, I've heard the same thing that you have, and because I did live that far from DL, well, Detroit Lakes and Burgess and all that other kind of stuff, and I actually know somebody who decided that they were going to go ahead and try to find it, and then ended up rolling their truck. Because,
oh my God!
Yeah, I'm dead serious. That's how bad that this urban legend is. Okay, honestly, I didn't find. I mean, that town. If you blink, it's pretty much you're done.
Well, the two people that went, I knew them both, but one was a Sim member. They're no longer with Sim now, but they walked the trail where their friend just kept on saying, you know, do you feel that? I feel like somebody's watching us. And just because you put that in somebody's head, of course, the other one's going to think that that is true.
Exactly.
You know? Yeah. But they never seen nothing. There was no animals, dead animals or anything like that, but they still found it was pretty interesting.
Well, when you find something that's that interesting, right? And you do, you naturally want to either figure out if it's true, or B, you're going to try to debunk it, right?
Exactly.
But I mean, we did walk that trail. Remember that day? You were with us.
I don't remember.
She was little. But we did. And there was just right there. Whatever. We've lost a lot of animals up in Minnesota from the woods.
Oh, that's right, because you had coonhounds.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. That's right. Okay, so another one is Dead Man's Trail. Dead Man's Trail go back a long time but there's no consensus on the exact story. The most commonly told urban legend, however, is that a Native American who lost her baby in the waters of the rushing river. When she saw that her baby has been washed away, she cursed the Thief River. So this is Thief River. Today, it is said that she wanders the trail looking for a lost child. And if you listen closely, you can hear her cries. Now, we actually had people call us and want to talk to us about that kind of stuff that they swear has happened up there. And they said they have on audio. And then I'd ask them to send me the audio clip. Well, yeah, we're not for sure how to do that, yet, they clipped it and everything else, but yet they couldn't put it. I don't know. I don't really, it's an urban legend. That's about it I could say on that. Now, this one is quite interesting because something in the paper in Minnesota, the story of Gray Cloud Island is a well-known Minnesota urban legend. It is a little community just south of the metro, St. Paul side. Many claim to have been followed by a mysterious white pickup truck that later disappears. Another common sighting is that a man wearing a flannel shirt holding a hunting rifle. He appears at random and seems to be translucent. Many naysayers claim that these merely locals going about their business, but still rumors persist. Now, Gray Cloud Island is no trespassing. None whatsoever. You will go to jail. There's always somebody watching it or something that reports them. Now, just like a week and a half ago on the paper, it showed that there was 5 dead dogs that were on the island and nobody knows why. And there was no, there was no poison. There was nothing like that. It was, did you just throw up? No, I'm kidding. It was pretty incredible that happened. And it's, we're trying to find something in the news about it and stuff is just incredible. But so there, one more I wanted to talk.
I'm sorry, I was reading the chat about the Robert doll.
Oh my god.
About the what?
I was reading the chat about the Robert doll.
Oh, are you on? Oh, you are. When did you get on there?
Oh, a while ago.
Well, yeah.
A while ago.
Oh, okay. Hi, Reeni. There you go. So let's see now. Let's see. There was. Okay, so now we actually checked this out as Sim.
Mhm.
We went to I'm looking right at it and I can't tell you what it is. I should be able to tell you. Maiden Rock, and that's in Maiden Rock, Minnesota, or Wisconsin, I'm sorry. So in Maiden Rock, the story goes is that there was a maiden, and I don't remember her name. This is all Native American with the Hunkpapa tribe, that she was being forced to marry this, some say, ugly Native guy, a warrior, or he was also just very rude and disgusting. Don't know, I can't remember which one. She went to the top of the hill and she sang her death song and she hurled herself off. So we went there, we did investigate it. We did have a couple of things happen when we were doing a song, and it was pretty incredible. So that was pretty good. But right across from that, that's right on Lake Pepin. Now in Lake Pepin, that there is a it's like a sea serpent. It's supposed to be a lot like Loch Ness. Okay. So the story goes on that is that, well, first off is on Lake Pepin, there's a lot of bad stuff happened. Okay. There was an old paddle wheeler boat. Bunch of people were on it. It started to storm and everything else and stuff, and it turned over. 27 people died, and their bodies washed up in a certain area, which is supposed to have made it haunted. There was a World War II plane crashed in the middle of the river. Well, river, they call it a lake, but it's also a river. And then the big thing was there's this place called Big Bear Pizza. Sim was doing a supernatural chat there, and the guy that owns it got some pictures of this lake monster.
Mm-hmm.
And it was pretty incredible. And we only got to see one picture. When we asked him to see more, he's like, how much money had he got? Because that's, he's going to sell those to anybody who wants to buy them, but he's just not going to let anybody see them. I guess in a way, if I wasn't the kind of person like I am or like you girls are and stuff, I would have actually tried to sell them too. Make some money on it, especially if it's not true. But I still feel that there is something there, because some people have gone and they've dove down. They had an experienced diver that dove down, and he got caught up in a swirl from some animal that was gigantic. And he got back up in the boat, and he said, "Never again will I go back down there. No frickin' way." And this guy knew his stuff. A lot of other people too have seen it, and it's huge from what I understand. I just wanted to see if Steph had anything to say about it. Lake Pepin, yes. Well, Steph didn't say nothing about it. She's the one that on the team is big into Peppy the monster. Yeah, that's what it is. But anyway, it was pretty cool. So what about you? Now, so you said there was one more?
There was one more. She didn't go, and this was many, many years ago. So this is way before I even thought about having her. There is what is called Resurrection Mary in Chicago on Archer Avenue, and I obviously have always been into the paranormal. So I went ahead, and the story goes on is she was coming back from the ball, and she got hit right by the cemetery. Well, now she hitchhikes, she'll ask for a ride, and then she vanishes, or people think that they actually hit her. I went there in the evening and nothing happened. Like nothing. There's nothing creepy about that cemetery. You can go into that cemetery at night. I mean, it's on a very busy road, but nothing at all. I mean, here, and I don't want to say that I was out because I wanted to see, well, yes, let's be honest. I want to see something. Okay. I want to see something. But I think it's just kind of one of those things, like something bad has happened, and then somebody's like, oh, this is what's happened to me, and this is what happens, and this is what happens, and this is what happens. Yeah, I don't think that that's even remotely what happens. I think, how can I put this? If you're going down Archer Avenue, maybe you think that you're seeing that, probably because you've had way too much to drink, or you were partying too much, or whatever the situation may be, but that just probably has never happened. That's
right. Gotcha. What do you think about these urban legends and everything, Torgun?
I mean, I'm not an urban legend person, but they seem interesting, and I want to explore them.
Oh, okay. Now, do your friends ever come up and say, hey, I heard this, and this? No?
My friends are not into the paranormal. They call me creepy, and they get scared of me sometimes because of the things I be doing.
Gotcha. Do you ever just kind of, like when you're walking past them and they're being mean and stuff, do you stop and give them a look and then just kind of walk? Oh, do you really? You're such a nasty child. That's
I know.
awesome.
It's the death stare.
I do
The
give him
death
the
stare.
next time, like,
She
"What'd you
gives
just say to
everybody
me?"
the death stare.
I do.
And I'm telling you, it's like laser beams coming out. Like she's
Oh,
reading
I'm
your
sure.
mind. And I'm like, ooh.
I'd be doing that with literally anyone. I don't care who you are. I'd be doing that too.
Yep, I know. I know your mom does that once in a while at me. Even when we're talking on the phone, I can feel it way over here.
Gary was on my show one week, and I think I gave him a couple death stares too. I'm like,
Oh yeah, you did.
okay.
Yep, yep. And your show, when is your show? Reeni?
Technically, it's every Wednesday, but I'm not on tonight, obviously, because I'm with you guys. It's every Wednesday from, what is it, 8:10 to 9:10. And I just talk true crime. I take a case and I discuss it. And I'm always looking for cases that nobody's ever heard of.
So you're looking for the real stuff. You're not a paranormal show.
I am not a paranormal show. It's just, and don't, I'm not saying that this is wrong or whatever, but I feel like on my station, there's just a lot of paranormal shows. So what I was trying to do is just kind of like stand out a little bit, but I see everybody's doing true crime now. So, but I'm the only one on that station that does true crime. So that makes it better.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Todd is saying, there's a picture of you on the following link. Me? Okay, wait a minute. I got to check this link out. Where is there me? See, there's the monster that's on that link.
Doesn't every girl have a death stare? Yes, every girl has a death stare.
I don't see no picture of me. Psst.
It says there's a picture if you follow the link. It doesn't say.
Oh, I thought he said a picture of me. I'm going to learn.
You're
how
about
to
to
read
click
soon.
on there, like, ooh, what kind of picture is he talking about?
Yeah, like,
Oh, you said there's a picture. Yes. Yeah. I don't know. It's pretty interesting. I mean, that's like really interesting. I've never seen this picture before. The one that Steve had, that's the guy over there at Big Bear Pizza.
I've seen
was
this
completely
picture
different.
in Muscatine, Iowa. We know where
Wait,
that's
wait,
at.
wait.
No, this should be in Minnesota.
It says Muscatine, Iowa.
I've seen something like that before.
Well, this isn't the Peppy Monster then.
This is,
Like
it says
Peppy Monster.
Muscatine, Iowa. The U.S. may have its very own Loch Ness Monster traveling the Mississippi, one even through visited Muscatine, Iowa.
I seen that in Minnesota before.
Where?
When I was with my friend. We were on her boat, and me and her little sister literally saw something like that poking out the water. I'm like, what is it? I'm like, did you see that too? And she's like, yeah. And I look over at my friend. She's like, I didn't see anything. What are you talking about?
Are you sure it wasn't a log?
It was not a log.
I'm just asking. Because
No.
I wasn't there.
Oh my god.
Huh.
You not believe me now?
I didn't say I didn't believe you. I'm just asking if it was a log.
Uh-oh, there's not going to be an argument right on the air.
He's like, show's ended.
Jerry drinks monster. He's not a monster. Man, with all the problems going on with my heart and stuff, I think a monster would put me into a heart attack mode now. That would be bad. Like, I remember back in the day when I was doing this show, my favorite thing was Surge. We used to, try to ask people to grab a Surge with us, and we'd on the air and slam it. And I remember my co-host at that time, she got all wonky too, and I did. And by the time the second hour came, I could barely even stay awake. It was such a crash.
It's like having that prime drink that everybody is
Oh
so
my God.
great. I think
It's disgusting.
Right. That's what the other little guy likes.
Ugh.
Yeah.
I don't get his taste buds, man. It's disgusting.
That's funny. All right. Well, let's see here. How much time we got left? We're down to about 2 minutes left. So you don't have a website yet, do you? For the
No, I'm gonna go ahead and do that. It's on my list. I have a list of stuff that I need to get done, and first and foremost, my dolls take pretty much priority.
Gotcha.
And the kids.
Obviously.
So if anybody does need to get a hold of her because they have a question about their doll or anything like that, you can actually go to the Call-In Radio Show on Facebook, and you can message me, and I'll be more than happy to give the message to Reeni.
Mm-hmm.
So there we go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I'm trying to think. There was another question I wanted to ask Torgun. I just don't remember.
He'll remember later and be like, oh, I should.
Yeah, and then I'll just call your mom and say, "Hey, ask Torgun this."
I love answering
Yeah,
questions.
something. So, all right. So, anything coming up that's going to be interesting? What are you guys doing for Halloween?
I'm trick or treating with my friends.
She's going trick or treating.
Gotcha. What are you dressing as?
Carrie.
Oh, Carrie. Oh, another horror themed type thing.
No, because last year I actually did something funny, which is like a big shocker.
So this
What's
year
that?
we have to do Carrie, but I had to pick Jerry's brain on blood, on how we were planning.
Yep. So I found the blood and had it sent.
Yes, and then we were trying to figure out how we were gonna drape her in blood. I mean, we're the crew. That's the craziest conversations Jerry and I have during the day. I'm like, and then Jerry's like, oh, we could, maybe if you did a balloon, or maybe you did that, and I'm like, So I had to rewatch that movie. We were arguing about what color dress Carrie had.
It was pink.
Okay, if anybody in the chat says, hey, it's white, I'm gonna probably take it because it does kind of look white.
But it does look pink too. It looks like a very light pink. I think
It is pink. As a matter of fact, if you
She
Google
even
it,
Googled it, and it says
Yes,
pink.
it is.
Yeah.
But she was literally like, for an hour we were fighting over it. She's like, it's white. I'm like, girl, watch the movie. Watch the dang
Yeah.
movie.
well, either that too, and you can also, when we did it on, when I Googled it, it came up and said it was pink.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So it looks like we are at the end here. Again, ladies, I want to thank you both so much for coming on. Torgun, was your second time. The first time you came on was Spooky Girls. I'm correct. And
Yeah.
Reeni, it's always a pleasure having you on. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you for having us.
You got it. And thank you, Para X, and thank you, Sarge. You're the one that puts this all together for me, and I appreciate it. And for all the troops out there, hang tight. Christmas is coming. Hopefully you'll be home soon. Everybody have a great night. We'll see you all next week.